whatever you're doing, is you want to earn more than you spend. Welcome to Mental and Money. I'm your host, Lamar. I struggle with my mental and also struggle with my money. From a money standpoint, talking specifically, I struggle with saving. I struggle with, paying my bills on time, getting my credit right, struggling with credit, struggling with debt. So all of those things I'm going to talk about, how to manage your money, how to how to create a plan, and how to manage and monitor that plan from a daily to a monthly basis. So I'm going to talk more about that. What is money? For me, the definition of money is it's a tool. It gets you from point A to Z throughout your life. It helps you through good and bad times. It's there with you all throughout your life. So throughout your life, you will have financial conversations. You will have struggles. You will have wins. You will have losses. But money is always there. And some say it's the root of all evil, but it depends on how you look at it. The first thing I want to tell you, which is the most important thing, is with money and with what you make, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're working for a company, whatever you're doing, is you want to earn more than you spend. So you want to spend less than you make, basically. That's the first goal. That's the main goal. It does not matter how much you earn. You could be a millionaire, and if you spend $1 million, then the person that's making $5 and that's saving $1 of that money is actually making more money than a millionaire. For me personally, I track my income, not the gross. I'm talking about the net pay, what you bring home, what you see in your bank account. I'm not talking about what's coming out of your 401k or your medical or any expenses that come out of your paycheck before you actually see it, a car insurance or things like that. I'm talking about what is take home pay. So what is your net income? Calculate that if you get paid on a weekly, bi-weekly, or a monthly basis. Calculate that, and then on a period, I usually use monthly, but I get paid every 2 weeks, so every 2 weeks I track that, and then on a monthly basis I pay all of my bills. So if you pay all your bills and you track that, you track your daily spending, which I do every day. I track my daily spending, and I track my monthly bills. If you total those up, it should be less than you make. If not, you have some work to do to cut some of your expenses back. So we're talking about your basic expenses, your rent or your mortgage, your light bill, your phone bill, kids daycare. So all of those things, I want you to write all of your bills down on a daily basis. Do it for 30 days. Just try it out. Write out all your bills for 30 days, and and then track all of your income for 30 days. So track both, and then the net should be a positive result. I track mine on a daily basis. I do my bills on a monthly basis, so every month I pay out all the bills, and that amount should be a positive number. That's key, because if it's not a positive number, then you have to take a look and maybe earn more or cut back. But you're gonna have to make some changes, and you're gonna have to have some family discussions. Tracking your debt. So I did this when I was in debt. I still do it now. I track my debt, whether it's my mortgage, whether it's credit cards, whether it's loans. Track all of your debt, and I'm going to give you a reason why at the end, because this is all going to culminate into how you calculate your net worth. But what I want you to do is track all of your debt. So every person you owe, write it all down. You can use the snowball method if you like to pay off that debt. So snowball, you can use whatever the highest interest rate is. You can look to pay those things off first. Still pay your monthly amount to the creditors, but you can add a little bit more to the highest credit card with the highest interest rate, and then you can start paying those things off fast. And then as you knock it off, it's called the snowball method because you take that money and then you add it to the next bill, and then it like a snowball, it gets bigger and bigger. You start to pay off all of these debts, and then next thing you know, you're debt free. Know your credit rating, because as you go for credit, you need to know where you are as you go for a mortgage and those things. Get a cell phone. All of that looks at your credit, and even jobs now look at your credit history. So make sure you know your credit. Make sure you know what's on it, and if anything is not legit, make sure you call the creditors and get those straight. Pay yourself first. This is a big topic. So a lot of people say pay yourself first. I'm going to tell you how. If you have a 401k at your job, if you have a retirement plan, a SEP or anything, an IRA, you want to pay yourself first. You want to take for a 401k, if your job is offering a match, a 401k match or a retirement match, you want to at least contribute up to the match so that you're paying yourself first before you pay your bills, because you need to have a retirement. You cannot depend on anyone for your retirement. You have to depend on yourself. So unless your job has a pension, which many pensions are going away, I recommend for you to pay yourself first and get into a retirement plan, a 401k, at least up to the match, and then you know that you've contributed to yourself each time you got paid. Lifestyle inflation. So lifestyle inflation happens all the time. Let's say you get out of college and you start your first job. Before you was eating ramen noodles, now you're eating filet mignon with your new job. So that's kind of like lifestyle inflation, meaning like as you make more, you're spending more. And what I did actually 2 years ago, during the pandemic, I cut that off. I said, you know what I'm earning right now is what is gonna go to the bills. Anything after that, I'm paying myself first. So I'm cutting off lifestyle inflation as of 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, and I put that money in my pocket. So no longer to the bills. So any merit increases I receive, any bonuses, it's going to go directly to me for my future or things that I want to spend money on. But I recommend that you cut lifestyle inflation off. If you're living a certain way, live that way, and you know what, cut the rest off, put it to savings or pay yourself first. The 50-30-20 rule. So I abide by this rule. It was written by Elizabeth Warren, the senator. And basically, the approach of the 50-30-20 rule is the way you align your money. Now, for me personally, I 60% of what I bring in, set from a salary perspective, between my wife and I, 60% goes towards bills. We then pay ourselves first about 20%, and then the rest of the 20% is for spending. But what I do at the end of the month, anything that's left over, I do apply it to the 50-30-20 rule. So let me just explain what that is. So 50-30-20, 50% goes to spending. So it's for all your expenses. 30% is for savings. So save 30% of your money. And then 20% goes to any wants, vacations, things like that. So that's what the rule is. Now you can look it up yourself and you can figure out how it can apply to your life. But basically, it's a structure. It's building a money structure around your life, which for a lot of us, including myself, I was not educated on money coming out of elementary, high school, or college. I had to learn all of this stuff on the fly. So that's why I'm showing you and I'm telling you how to do it. So I apply the 50-30-20 rule after I paid all my bills and I have a surplus at the end of the month. That's how I apply the 50-30-20 rule. Now, I apply it where I spend 50%, I save 30%, and I give my wants 20%. So that's the way I do it. That's the way I apply that rule. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the 100 minus your age rule. So when it comes to investing, if you don't know the actual allocation that you should invest to stocks or bonds or cash, you can use this rule. So 100 minus your age is a standard rule that you can use. I think they're using a 110 minus your age now. But if you use 100 minus your age, so I use 100 minus my age. Let's say that's minus 44. I'm 44. So what is that? 56%. So that number that you come up with, that's the amount that you should have applied to stocks, and those type of investments. Your age, so what you do with the remainder of that is you move it to low risk securities such as cash, bonds. That's what you do with the remaining amount of it. So you want to do that in your 401k. You want to do that in your overall portfolio so that you can reduce risk. Why? Because as you age, you want to make sure that you have less risk, so that if the market tanks, when you retire, you won't be in a bind of, you know what, I need to stay in the market because all of my money is in the market and the market tanked. So that's the reason why you want to use the 100 minus your age rule, to figure out how much you should have invested. And then the last thing I'm going to leave you with is your net worth. You need to know your net worth. You need to know your credit score. How you know your net worth is you tally up all of your assets, your properties, your 401k, your savings, stocks, bonds, cash. You remember when I told you should know all of your expenses? You tally up all of your expenses that you currently have, your auto payment, your loans, credit cards. Tally it all up. All of your assets, all minus all of your expenses, is your net worth. You want to attain to a positive net worth, but if you have a negative one, you know you have something to work on. So that's all I'm going to leave you with today. I just wanted to touch on the money basics. If you have any questions, send me an email. I'll respond back with what I think, what I would do from my approach. Because again, this video is about things that I've learned and things that I wanted to share with you. So with that, I'm going to leave you with a Bible verse about money. So this is Hebrews 13, verse 5. Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have. Because God has said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. Thank you for watching.